The will of God never changes. It just becomes clearer the more we move through life. A quote from Anesu Malisa from episode 19 of season 1, where we were talking about, as I forget the title, but go check out episode 19. And we were having a lovely chat with Anesu. And so in today's chat, I want to talk, and I'm titling it The Bush Baby Analogy. So if you didn't see that episode, you can go see it. But if you watched it, you would know that there was a particular point about 2 minutes into part 2 of that episode. It was a 3-part episode where Anesu shares how he was walking in his neighborhood and from the distance saw what appeared to be a bush baby. And he was like, oh man, I've never seen one in real life, and so let me get a closer look. But upon drawing nearer and nearer, getting closer to what appeared to be a bush baby, to his amazement, when he was closer in proximity, he realizes that it was a gumboot. Right? Imagine what a parallel. Imagine what a comparison. And then understood this thing of like a bush baby analogy. And so he then shared like the quote that I just shared, that the will of God never changes. It just becomes clearer the more we move through life. So just to share a story about myself. It was 2018. I was doing my second year, doing my BCom accounting degree at WITS, right? And so just maybe going back a bit, I've probably shared this before, but I was a person who wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't know what career I wanted to pursue, right? Where peers around me knew and wanted to be lawyers and doctors and accountants and you name it, I just wasn't sure. I didn't know. There was nothing that really grabbed my attention that I was really passionate about in the sense of a career. And so even picking subjects in grade 9 for the senior years of high school, I literally took my report card and I saw the subjects I was excelling at, which was economics and management science, EMS, and so I picked the commerce package because I was like, okay, I'm doing good I know my journals, CRJ, CPJ, and ledgers and whatnot, and I'm doing well. Let me go business studies, economics, and accounting. And so I did the commerce package for the senior years in high school, and that also informed us like maybe I'll stumble upon my passion and what I want to do for the rest of my life as I go in the senior years of high school. That didn't happen. So here I am in matric. Now I need to start applying for varsity or college, whatever. And even in those applications, I was just picking commerce-related fields of study to study further. And so here I am at WITS because I was accepted for the offer that I was given an offer for the first pick that I chose, which was BCom accounting. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm still not sure. It doesn't feel like this is something that I want to pursue as a career, but I'm good at it and I have an opportunity to go study. I'm going to take it with both hands and we'll see what happens, right? So I go ahead, do my first year, pass with flying colors. It's amazing. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm good at this. I get to second year, right? For those of you who know, and maybe from I think some past episodes, I would have shared a bit of my story as well. In first year, when I initially moved to Johannesburg to study, I also was invited to the church that I'm currently in, and that's where I then gave my life to Jesus, got baptized, started serving as well, and started learning more about myself as well. And so we fast forward to second year. This is 2018. I am now growing more in my relationship with God, and so it was a moment. I just remember I was walking to campus this particular day. It was during the day, sunny day, and I'm walking to campus. And from where I was staying to campus, it was en route. I would pass the church building where we gather. So as I am walking, I am literally by the church building. I'm walking on the opposite side of the street, right? I'm walking opposites. Literally, the church is like next to me. I'm next to the church, and I'm walking towards campus. And in that moment, it was so clear to me, right? It wasn't like a voice. I didn't like hear a voice. It wasn't like a audible voice of God or something, but it was a feeling that I couldn't shake. In that moment, it was a feeling like just deep in my spirit, deep in my guts, that literally was like, I'm not called to accounting. I'm not called to a career in accounting, but I am called to church ministry. It was so clear. I can remember it like it was just yesterday. And it convicted me. It convicted me so much. So in that moment, I knew very well, I'm not going to have a career in accounting, but I am called to church leadership, to church ministry. Okay. Not what I expected, right? Not what I expected at all. But then from that moment, I was like, well, I guess we can drop out. I'm done. I wasn't passionate about this anyway. I was good at it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm passing well, but well, now it's clear to me. I'm not going to pursue a career. Yeah? Let's drop out. Let's drop out. Let me go volunteer at church or something. Maybe they hire me, start working for the church or something like that, you know? So I was just like, I need to drop out. And so from that point on, I no longer had that desire to continue studying, so much so that my grades started to drop. For the first time in my life, I started failing, right? Because now I didn't want to continue. But then there was still something just keeping me in the degree. I think it was a number of things. I think it was God's grace and God's wisdom. I also think it was my I don't know if I want to call it a desire or the persistence of wanting to finish everything I start. So I hate leaving things incomplete. So I wanted to finish the degree. Another part would have probably also been the fact that I want my mom to experience and see me graduate. She has sacrificed so much to get me to this point, and I felt like I owed her this. Let me get the degree, right? So I wrestled for the rest of my second year and my third year times two, like, because I kid you not, I was failing like crazy because I don't want to do this anymore. But I struggled for the remainder of my time studying. I struggled to finish the degree. I did finish it, praise God, but I really didn't want to. I wanted to drop out, right? Why am I sharing this? Some takeaways from this is, before that, let me just quote for us Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." That's Romans 12, verse 2. So, a takeaway from this, and there's only one, and that is, life's events are often interconnected, even though they may seem isolated. Let me say that again. Life's events are often interconnected, even though they may seem isolated. At that time, when I had this deep-seated feeling that I am called to church leadership, I'm called to church ministry, and that accounting is not going to be a career that I pursue, I thought it's a waste of my time continuing with this degree. And looking back, I'm so glad I didn't drop out. I'm so glad I saw it through. And even when I graduated, I graduated, and after walking, that walk across the stage, you get your degree, take a picture, great. My mom was cheering, she was so proud. I gave her the degree. I'm like, that's your degree. Like, as I speak to you, it's by her house, she framed it, it's on her wall. Because for me, I was like, okay, I've done it, done. Now I can go and get what's mine and actually do what I'm called to and what I'm passionate about. But as the years have gone by, I realized that nothing that I have done so far in my life was a waste. As I speak to you right now, I work in an insurance company. I am working in the finance department. And may I say as well, I'm enjoying the work that I get to do. I'm learning a lot. I'm growing as an individual. I feel like I'm having a meaningful contribution, not only to my team, but to the company at large. So I'm actually finding myself being very effective and fulfilled in the space I'm currently in, using the degree that I acquired and the finance knowledge that I have. So again, as I'm saying, I'm glad that I didn't actually go through with dropping out like I wanted to drop out at that time. But at that time, I didn't have the full picture. I didn't see exactly what each thing was going to lead to. Yes, am involved. I've been involved in church. I'm growing as a leader. I'm being involved in different spaces in ministry as well. So I'm seeing that also taking place. But also, might I say, even the way that's taking place and the way that's unfolding, it's not unfolding the way I pictured it would unfold. And maybe right now you can just take some time to reflect. I think it would be true for many of us. We got a dream. We received some revelation. We recognize that, oh, this is my gifting and this is the career I'm going to take and I'm going to pursue. But 9 times out of 10, that dream, that career, that purpose, so far in the way it's been unfolding, is probably not in any way the way you pictured it unfolding. And that's the point in what I'm saying here, is that events might seem isolated, and you might ask yourself, but why am I doing this if I'm actually supposed to be doing this and this is what I'm passionate about? Hey, I'm an artist. I love, I write such amazing songs, and I've been complimented as well. I've been told what a gift I have. So why am I studying a degree in education? Why am I finding myself in this space if this is my gift? And I am so certain at this point in my life that all these things that seem like they're so isolated, that seem like they have nothing to do with one another, in some way, in God's wisdom, they're actually interconnected, and they are bringing you to this bigger picture that even you right now don't see fully and don't see clearly. Right. And so the principle that I want to leave us with, that I have applied in my life and I'm seeing some benefits and fruit of it, and I want to just present to you. And it's just one principle today, and that is balance big picture thinking and living in the presence. In the present. Let me say that again. Balance big picture thinking and living in the present. What do I mean by this? You have been given a dream. You have this desire. You have this goal in life. You see yourself as an artist. You see yourself as the next best sportsman or sportswoman. You see yourself as this businessman. Whatever it is. That's awesome. You have a vision. You have something you want to build towards, and that's great. At the same time, you are present in whatever your current present is. You're a student, or you're working that 9 to 5, or you currently staying at home, you currently building a relationship that you wanna develop and get to marriage. You're currently at a current space in your life now. Your life right now is not really looking like the big picture vision that you have for your life ultimately, or that you believe you are called to fulfill, right? So we need to have a balance. We need to find a way of balancing the big picture thinking. You want to keep the big picture there. You don't want to lose sight of the end goal. But at the same time, you want to be present. You don't want life to just happen around you. Don't despise the current season you're in. It's serving a purpose. It's building you up. It's developing a particular character that is necessary for the character that you need to have when you're now at that bigger picture. So that is what I'm saying at this, is that you need to balance big picture thinking and living in the present. You need to have that vision to see the bigger picture, to always be able to recenter, to say, okay, I'm still on the right path. I'm still building towards this ultimate goal. I'm still building towards fulfilling this purpose, but also be present. Enjoy the now. Right now, as I say, I am an employee. I work for a fantastic company that has a great culture. I believe in where this company is going, and I enjoy the work that I get to do. And so I'm choosing to be intentional and be present in that season. However, I am convinced in my heart of hearts that a 9 to 5 is not something that I'll be doing for the rest of my life. I'm not going to work a 9 to 5 until retirement. I have a passion for business. I believe that there's this desire in me, and I believe that I'm to build. I will build a great company that will be a legacy that will employ many people and create employment in our country. And so I am trying to build into that as well. I'm trying to pour into that as well. I'm trying to see what business opportunities come my way that I can really, take on and try to scale and leverage and, build something great, something that will outlast me, right? So I'm also trying to put some of my energy towards fulfilling that as well. And I know that's the bigger picture, but I'm also making sure that I don't neglect the now, because right now, what's paying the bills? The job that I have. And so if I'm going to look at it as worthless because no, my end goal is actually being a businessman, then I'm going to probably do the irresponsible thing and put my family in a very tight situation, because I'm going to just decide to up and leave my job and then go into this business world where I'm still learning. I don't even know a lot of business practices. I really don't know my way around it. I'm still figuring things out in that area. So who's going to feed my family? Who's going to feed my kid? How am I going to keep the lights on? So when we can balance that, we can keep our one eye really looking at the bigger picture and what we're building towards, while being present and diligent with what we have right now and what we've been trusted with right now, so that we are faithful stewards of what we have right now, and that we are intentional, though, that as we are building and going about the journey, that we are pouring into the ultimate picture, and we're taking ourselves closer and closer to that ultimate picture and purpose that we believe we need to fulfill in our lifetime. So that's what I wanted to share in this episode, and I hope that there was something that you could take. It was of encouragement, and it was something that was insightful for you and worth your time. And so until we meet again, please be intentional with the man you're becoming, because the man you're becoming is better than the man that you are today.